Hello again, this is Mr. Tom here with another video for you. So a lot of people love coming to our museum to learn about dinosaurs. We have a lot of dinosaurs. We have some dinosaur fossils, we have dinosaur toys, of course, to play with. These are mine that I brought from home. This one here, actually, I think my parents got it for me when I was maybe about 5 years old, and I still have it. All right, now I'm gonna scoot you back a little bit. I'm gonna show you how to make footprints. Now, take your fingers, pretend they're dinosaur feet, and you're walking them along. Okay, now imagine on the ends of your fingers you have paint. And so as you walk along, you're actually tracing the footprints. And that actually looks like a special kind of fossil that we're gonna learn to make. It's called a trace fossil. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, let's get started. Okay, well, I found the spot where I want to work. Let me show you what I've got. I already showed you my two dinos that I brought from home. These are ones I played with when I was little, only about your age actually. And I also picked out one from the basket just behind me back there. This guy, I think this is an iguanodon right here. And he's got some kind of cool looking feet. See those toes? Spread really wide apart. I think he'll make some kind of cool tracks. So I'm going to use this one too. Now because I have 3 different dinos, I'm going to use 3 different colors of paint. We got blue here. Now if you've seen my other videos, you might remember that blue is my favorite color. So I want to use blue for one. I'm also going to use brown. And finally, I am going to use black. Now, parents, this is acrylic paint. What's nice about acrylic paint is it dries quickly and it is washable. So, of course, that's very important. Also got a sheet of construction paper here. I'm using yellow. You can use any color you like. The construction paper is what you're going to use to actually make your dino tracks on. Also got a plate to put my paint in. And for fun, if you like, you can compare footprints. You got a ruler. So you can measure, practice your measuring, practice your numbers, see how far apart those footprints are for each dinosaur. Now, I want you to take a guess. Is this dinosaur bigger than this one? And if it is, if a dinosaur is bigger, do you think it'll make bigger footprints and maybe further apart? So think about that. We're going to find out once we make our tracks here. Now I'm going to zoom a little closer so you can get a good look. Okay, I got my 3 different colors of paint on the plate here. I just put them in a line here. Got the blue, black, and brown. All right, now I want to start off with the blue one. Again, blue is my favorite color. I think I'll use this little one right here. So look at his feet. What kind of tracks do you think he'll make? Let's find out. So I'm just going to dab his feet, try not to get his tail in there. You don't need too much on there. I'm just going to lightly dab, lightly dab. Okay, his feet just wet enough with paint. Now I'm going to slowly walk him along the paper. Let's see what happens. Go a little faster. Again, I told you the paint dries quickly, which is kind of nice, but that also means you don't want to wait too long to make your prints. All right, now, turns out a lot of the paint came off right at the beginning. Let's take a look. So you see the first tracks right here, a lot of paint. Can't even really tell it's a footprint, but as you go along, you can see where the toes are. Okay, so now we just made our dinosaur tracks. Now, this is a special kind of fossil. When paleontologists, people who study dinosaurs and other extinct animals, when they find these kinds of footprints, they call them trace fossils. A trace is something that was left behind from an animal. So it's not part of the animal itself. It's something it left behind, like its footprint. All right, now let's do this guy. I think this one's called Diplodocus. Now again, he's bigger, right? He's bigger than the other one. So what kind of footprints do you think he's going to make? Let's find out. I am going to use black for him. Now because it's bigger, I'm just going to go 1 foot at a time here. And add that one there, and that one there. All right, oh, a little more on this one. All right, now I got all 4 of his feet covered. What do you think it'll look like? Okay. Now, dinosaurs like Diplodocus walked really slow. So he's going to go slow. He's not going to move too fast. Okay. A little more, and then let's put some more. Let's say he wants to turn, maybe he found a nice tree or something he wants to snack on. And so let's say he's just turning back this way towards me. I'm going to make more footprints right there. All right. Well, a little harder to tell, but, and it might be a little hard to see this on the video, but when you do this yourself, you'll see that in these black circles, you can actually see the impressions of the foot. So like this one right here, let's see if I can angle it so you can see. It's a little hard to tell, but what's really cool is even though it just looks like a big circular dot, you can actually see the footprint in there. Now again, is this bigger or smaller? Think about it. All right, now we got one more to do. We've got Iguanodon here, or at least I'm calling him Iguanodon. I'm going to use the brown, the last color we have. I'm going to get each of his feet wet. One more over here. One more. There we go. Now what's interesting about him is actually one of his toes is raised up. Okay, so even though he has 3 toes, if one toe is raised up, how many toes do you think will show up on the paper? Let's find out. There we go. It's a little better. There we go. Because its arms are so long, they're actually kind of in the way. So I'm just bending the paper up a little bit. If you can see that there. Just walking along. Okay. Maybe he's looking for a nice plant to eat. You know, Iguanodon, just like Diplodocus, is a plant-eating dinosaur. They didn't eat meat, they ate plants. So they like to look for trees and grasses and ferns and things like that. All right, so Iguanodon's done. Let's take a look at his tracks. Again, once you start at the beginning, and I think that's just because we have more paint on his feet, it's a little harder to see. It looks more like kind of a big round dot, but you can actually see the impression of a toe here. And as you go further along, here, let's take a look at this one here. The one I'm pointing to right there, that's a really good one. Now, it looks like it has 2 toes. Remember, it has 3, but one of them was raised up, so you get 2 toes. All right, so that is a trace fossil. And that's just kind of a cool way to show you how trace fossils work. And again, if you want, you can measure them. You can even write this down, practice your numbers, and see how far apart those tracks are. Now, I want to show you one more thing before we go. This is another kind of trace fossil. If you've been to the museum before, you might have seen it. Let me get you a closer look. What do you think that is? Now remember, a trace fossil is something that was left behind from an animal like a dinosaur. Okay, so that's a big hint there. You think it is? Give it a moment. All right, well, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. It is called a coprolite. It is fossilized poo. Now this one, we don't know what animal it's from, but you might think to yourself, ew, why would you study poo? That's gross. Well, first of all, it's solid, so it doesn't smell anymore. It's perfectly safe to handle. But also think about what dinosaurs eat, or think about what you eat. And when dinosaurs eats and it goes through the digestive system and it gets left behind, you can actually look at a coprolite and break it apart with a hammer, and you can see what's inside there. You might even find little remains of seeds and plants or even bones from tiny little animals, and you can tell what it ate. All right, well, I hope you had fun there, and I will see you next week for another video.